Hi, Krithika. Welcome back to the Animal Turn podcast. It's great to have you back on the show.
Well, I'm very happy to be here. I had a really nice time chatting with you a few years ago.
To ground a little bit, I think you gave two, pretty good examples. So I know you spoke about the Human Development Index, right? And again, now you say that development is kind of a mechanism to achieving this goal, and this ideal of human well-being. But two kind of things, I don't know what words to use, or whether it's characteristics or mechanisms or whatever, of this seems to be longevity, you mentioned, and also killability. This idea that human well-being involves living a long life, and human well-being involves not being killable. The sanctity of human life. These are, I guess, two of the characteristics of human well-being. Or yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, I don't list them as such, but yeah, you're right. So but you're right. Yeah.
are there others? Like because I really found, what did you say with regards to livability? I mean, longevity. I found that really quite fascinating. This kind of idea. And you see it manifesting in so many different ways. This idea that you can live a long life, and living a long life needs to always be put above all else. And I think this manifests even just in human to human cases. You know, when people want something like assisted suicide, the fact that this is viewed as a massively controversial topic, even though you want to end your life for whatever reason, the fact that this has become a massive debate where you have no agency actually over when your life could end or begin. The Yeah, it is this kind of sanctimonious isn't the same thing, is it? No. There's a sanctity to living a long life, right?
Yeah, and I use the example there to kind of show how our vision of human well-being is predicated on being more than animal, right? Because death is an integral part to life on Earth. Every organism that is born as that is there as life on Earth dies.
Mm.
I don't know about viruses. I don't know what happens to them. My biology is not good enough, but all of the organisms die, and that is. But but central to this idea of what human well-being is what you find is that, at least again in mainstream societies, and and in a way that is sort of that is it's an accumulative vision. So what was considered a long life 50 years ago is much shorter than what is considered a long life now. So we want to be more and more than animal.
Mm.
And so I was using life expectancy, which is considered to be one of the most basic indicators of human well-being and development. How that in itself, at the most basic level, we're not talking about computers, we're not talking about luxury goods, we're not talking about the kinds of things that are often criticized when one wants to criticize development.
Mhm.
But I'm just talking about the most basic thing which most people take for granted, right?
Why
And
why
saying
is
that,
this more why is this more than animal though? Wouldn't we want long lives for other animals? Like why is this seen as being separate to or different to why is it more than animal? What makes
so
this
if you look
distinctive?
at life expectancy, it's something, and that's also another point that I make in this paper, is that these what we often do when it comes to certain other animals and certain other organisms that we value, whether they be pets or farmed animals or gardens, we impose similar visions onto them.
Mm.
So we want our pets to have a long life. And if you look at, many of them have increasing lifespans, in comparison to how they might be if they were free living or in the wild. But by contrast, our understanding of what, say, an animal that is not domesticated, and again, by not domesticated, I mean, here I'm not talking about farmed animals who have, where our understandings of what a good life is there is very different. But I'm comparing a pet to a free living animal. We wouldn't expect a crow to have an ever increasing lifespan or life expectancy, but we would for ourselves and for our pets.
Mm.
So it's not something that we expect all other organisms on the planet to have. So therefore, it's more than animal. And what we're doing with our pets is is removing them from the realm of the animal and bringing them slightly more into the realm of the human, which is typically how a lot of environmental and animal welfare or animal rights thinking and practice has evolved. That it's about shoring up the disempowered, the disprivileged, the vulnerable, whether they be human others or non-human others, and making them more like the more privileged, uh, the more privileged. Um, so, yeah, I will stop there and let you ask your question.
So, are you suggesting here then in reanimalization, if one of the things would reanimalization then be suggesting that we shouldn't be pursuing longer lives for humans or longer lives for anyone?
Uh, yeah, yes. Short answer, yes. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a long life, but I don't know if it's something we ought to pursue the way we're pursuing.
What do you mean by that?
If you look at like pretty much everything that we do, it is to stop ourselves from dying, right? And we do it at the level of not just individuals, not at the level of families or communities, but at the societal scale.
Mm.
Our buildings, our agricultural systems, our medical systems, our engineering systems are all about expanding, of increasing life expectancy.
And I guess that not only the increase in our own lives also results in, and our in inverted commas, also results in the kind of, I guess, diminishing returns for other lives, right? So, in order to have longer lives, we rely more and more on specific types of medicines, and this relies more and more on lab experiments being done on specific types of animals, or going into more habitats, creating different types of habitat destruction. So, the kind of elongation of our lives is also predicated on cutting short the lives of
Sacrifice.
others.
So, and that's the other point that I make in that paper, that the way we pursued our well-being and the well-being of our kind of certain cherished others is through the logics of protection sacrifice.
Mm.
So we seek to shore up or to protect, but then there's always a sacrifice entailed in that. And this is not just humans versus other animals, but it could also be some animals versus other animals. So I vaccinate your pet dog. There are dogs in the lab that sacrifice their lives and their well-being for that.